Hello students, welcome to Avyan IAS Academy, and today we will be taking up adjectives. So as you all might know that adjectives are usually said as describing words. The adjectives are used to describe a noun. It can be used to describe a person, a place, an animal, a thing, or anything that needs a description is in need of an adjective. For example, if we say she is a clever girl, here the word girl is being described with the word clever. So anything that is describing this a girl or she is the adjective. So it is a describing word. That is the easiest description of adjective that you could get. For example, if we say he has 9 mangoes. So how many mangoes does he have? So he has 9 mangoes. So this is also a description. We will come to the types of the adjectives shortly, but just to explain what adjectives are, anything that describes, so this 9 becomes a part of the adjective. Now let us quickly come to the types of the adjectives. The first one that we come is of the quality. Adjective of quality. In the adjective of quality, as you might have just understood by the name of the word, by the name, that it is used to describe the quality of a people, of a person, place, animal, thing, or any noun in short. For example, I went to the beautiful hill station. So the word hill station is being described with beautiful. So it is talking about a quality. For example, we can say the mangoes are sour. So the word sour is describing the mangoes. So once again we are talking about the quality of the mangoes with this word sour. So the next one that we come to is the adjective of quantity. As I had explained here also, for example, he has 9 mangoes, or I have 2 brothers. So it talks about number of brothers, that is how many brothers do I have, that is 2. So it is talking about a number, and hence it is the adjective of quantity. The third type that we come towards are referring to the numbers or cardinals. Quantity could also refer to 2, 3, any of this sort, or it could also talk about several, few, many, a lot, some, any of these. Anything that talks about the quantity is identified as an adjective of quantity. And the one that talks about the numbers or cardinals, one example could be directly using the numbers for that. And also when we say she took the second position. When we use a word, this is a cardinal. So when we are saying that she took the second position, we are using the word second to describe the position that this person took. So that makes it an adjective. Also, if we say I stood first in the class, the word first is used to describe my position. So again, that is also talking about a cardinal, and that makes it an adjective about the position that I have occupied in my class. So that is the first. So hence it refers, it first as an adjective. The next type of adjective that we come towards is the demonstrative adjective. The demonstrative adjectives are words that demonstrates or refers to something. For example, this, that, these, those. We could say this is the girl who is my sister. So when I use the word this, it is referring to someone else, or I am pointing towards somebody. So that demonstrates, and that makes this as an adjective. Like that girl you met at the party was my cousin, or these mangoes are sweet, those oranges are sour. So any words of this sort which is addressing towards some other objects or demonstrating or pointing out towards an object is referred to as a demonstrative adjective. So now we will talk about the second part of adjectives, that is about the comparison between adjectives, or what we call the degrees of adjectives. So adjectives can be labeled in 3 degrees, that is the positive, the comparative and the superlative. In the positive is the first degree of the word. For example, that's good. The comparative would be better, and the superlative would be the best. Before using superlative degrees, we generally would use the article the. We say the best, she is the best in her class, or this is the sweetest mango that you can get in the market. So these are the superlative degrees. But while we are trying to convert the word from positive to comparative to superlative, there are various ways in which we compare them. For example, if we say the word red, it becomes redder, and then it becomes the reddest. So there can be different ways of transferring not exactly transferring, but like comparing objectives. For example, for some it is done with adding er and est. Good, better and best, this was an example of the irregular type of adjective, where none of the degrees match with the other. For example, for the same irregular type, another example could be bad, worse and worst. None of the words resemble the other, so the entire word changes. But for red, redder and reddest, the root of the word remains the same while the degrees keeps on changing. So these are more regular than words like this. However, there could be other types also. For example, words like beautiful, or words like industrious. What we do with these words will not become these are the change that we do for words like beautiful or industrious is not just the same as either of these. What we do for these words is, for the positive, comparative and superlative, what we do is, if the word is beautiful, it becomes more beautiful, and the superlative degree becomes most beautiful, right? For industrious, which means hardworking, it would become more industrious, and the superlative degree would be most industrious. So these are some of the ways in which we could be transferring degrees from one to another. However, coming to the next part of the adjectives, there is there's a glitch about there's a glitch about it where not the glitch exactly, but these are the questions which could be asked generally, like how you will transfer or transform from one degree to another, like the transformation from one degree of adjective to another. For example, in the positive degree, if we take lead is a heavy metal, how will we transform this to a comparative degree and then a superlative degree? But remember, we cannot change the meaning of the sentence. So lead is a heavy metal. How do we do it for comparative? So we will use the comparative form of the word heavy, that's heavier. Lead is heavier than other metals. So we have used the word heavier and we have used the comparison of than. Whenever we are doing a comparison, that is, a comparison should be always between two. The moment it becomes more than 2, 3 or more than that, it becomes a superlative degree. So if we have to convert this same sentence where lead is a heavy metal, the way we change it to superlative degree would be lead is one of the heaviest metal. But do remember that we have to use the word one of the heaviest metal. The, as I have said before, using any superlative we have to use the word the, which is the first step towards making it a superlative degree, and using the word heaviest or any other superlative degree for that matter. However, using this word one of the, because we are saying lead is a heavy metal, it does not, the sentence does not mean that lead is the heaviest metal. The idea of the sentence was lead is a heavy metal. Other metals could be heavier, more heavier than lead, but it certainly counts as one of the heavy metals, hence using the word one of the heaviest metal. We will do this with one more example. For this example, we will go in the reverse order. We'll begin with the superlative degree and we'll go to the positive degree. For example, if we say Rama is the strongest boy in the class. For this sentence, when we say the strongest boy in the class, the difference with the previous sentence is I am saying that he is the strongest boy in the class, but for the sentence where we had used or talked about lead was one of the heavy metals, not the only heavy metal. But here it is Rama is the strongest boy in the class, that is, he is without doubt the strongest boy, no one is as strong as him. So the comparative degree would be Rama is stronger than the other boy is in the class. And the positive degree for this sentence would be no other boy in the class is as strong as Rama. So that is the comparison that we are doing, as strong as Rama. and here we are doing stronger than. Positively remember that while converting sentences, whenever we are using the comparative degree, we should always use the word than, and whenever we are doing the superlative degree, as I said, we should use the word the. And to make it a positive degree, we did it with as strong as, which means no other boy. That gives Rama the supremacy over all the other boys in the class, making Rama the strongest boy in the class. So a quick recap of all the things that we did today. We began with what adjectives are. Adjectives are describing words. They are used to describe the nouns. Nouns such as people, place, person, things, animals, any of it. And the adjectives that I talked about were 4 kinds. The one that talks about quantity, that is in numbers, the quantities, that is like she has 9 mangoes. The one that talks about the quality, the adjectives of quality, the mangoes are sour. The one that talks about cardinals or numbers, for example, like she has 9 children, or we could say I stood second in the class. Also, when we talk about quantity, we should also talk about words like some, few, more, many, lot. And the 4th type that we talked about was the demonstrative adjectives, which talks about words, is used to indicate towards others, like that, these, those. And the next part that we talked about in the adjectives were the comparison or the degrees, and then we took up the transformation of one degree of adjective from one to another. The first part was the 3 degrees of adjectives as we know them are the positive, comparative and the superlative. However, when we are trying to transform one degree to another, we should in the sentences, if a sentence is given to us and then we are asked to transform them, which is quite often asked to us, we should be careful about the fact that we should not change the meaning of the sentence while trying to transform them from one to another. That the meaning should remain unchanged. Thank you. That's all for today.